Protein bars can be hard, dense, dry, not fun to eat. Instead of eating protein bars, I eat protein banana chocolate chip muffins. They're low calorie, they're high protein, they're super fluffy, and I'll show you exactly how to make them. They only require a few ingredients, and by the way, they are moist. Start with a food scale because measuring cups are so 2022. I do not have time to use measuring cups and clean them. Instead, weigh everything. 60 grams of regular flour. I'm using self-rising, but if you don't have self-rising, just add a little bit of extra baking powder and use regular flour. You can use oat flour if you want, but it's not gonna be as fluffy. This is just way tastier. And then we're gonna add some protein powder. I have whey and casein. The best way I have found to bake with protein powder is to use a combo of whey and casein. Half whey, half casein, equal amounts of each. Except if you buy them pre-mixed, it's so much more expensive. So I just buy them for my protein in bulk because it's just so much cheaper that way. Whey protein, it's incredibly drying, but it also helps baked goods rise. You don't want something that's really fluffy but super dry. Casein helps things stay moist. I'm sorry if that triggers you, but the thing with casein is it doesn't rise at all, so you'll have a flat, moist hockey puck. Use 50% of each, then you get the rise from the whey, the moistness from the casein. I'm getting so many dislikes on this video because I'm saying the M word. We use 60 grams of flour, so we're gonna use an equal amount of protein powder, 30 grams of whey protein, and then a scoop of casein. You wanna go in with a fat pinch of salt. I know I use self-rising flour, but I want an extra gram of baking powder. It's just gonna make it rise a little bit more. And I also want a gram of baking soda. Again, for more rise. But since we use baking soda, we do not want to add any acid to this because the acid reacts with baking soda and makes bubbles immediately. The acid's going to come from the Greek yogurt, but we're going to keep the wet and dry separate until the very end before we bake. My favorite sweetener, erythritol. It's granulated just like sugar. It feels like sugar. It tastes like sugar. It bakes like sugar. It crystallizes like sugar. It's just a little bit less sweet than sugar, but it doesn't have calories, and you can just use more if you want. The same amount, 60 grams of this. The reason I like erythritol so much instead of things like packets of sweetener is because this is really sweet but not a lot of volume. Erythritol, you could use a lot of it and it's not super sweet, which means it's going to act as a dry ingredient just like sugar would in a recipe. It's going to provide that same crunchiness and that texture that sugar would in a baked good, and it's going to absorb liquid and add bulk to the recipe. If you used a lot of these to actually add bulk, it would be so sweet you couldn't taste anything else because that's how condensed the sweetness is in a packet of sweetener. Erythritol is not like that. It's 75% as sweet as sugar, which means you could use a lot of it and things won't taste overly sweet. That being said, I like things sweet, so I might as well just add this in because I already have it out. You don't need this though. What you do want is cinnamon. I really like cinnamon. Add a little sprinkle of this. It just adds a nice warmth to the recipe. Mix everything together. The cinnamon, it just smells so good. And set this aside. A really important step in making banana bread is the bananas you use. You do not want to use really green, super unripe bananas like these. I mean, these aren't super green, but they're too hard and they're not ripe enough. This is the one time where it's bad to be hard. I like to use these kinds of bananas. They got brown spots, they got brown on them, but they're really soft and they're pretty ripe and they're sweet and they're just perfect for banana bread. Some people like to use bananas like this. I just think this is too ripe and it's just too wet and too soft and I just don't like it. If you want it, you could use it, but also this is closer to my skin color, so more body dysmorphia, so no. Mash these up. 120 grams of banana. Oh wait, I was supposed to show you something. My friend forced me to do this. You gotta peel from the bottom. Apparently that's how monkeys peel, and you don't get those weird streaks of banana that you would if you peel from the top. But I'm not a monkey, so peel it however you want. 120 grams, let's try this again. Honestly, it makes no difference. Just peel it however you want. My friend's wrong. These ripe bananas, they mash so easily. Look at that. Fresh banana would not mash like this. And if you want to use these really ripe bananas, I mean, they mash so easily, you barely have to do anything with a fork. You just squeeze them and, oh, that's not safe for YouTube. Mash these up until it's a fine paste. You don't want any chunks of banana. To this, we're going to add 120 grams of Greek yogurt. That's going to add way more protein and creaminess. Use some thick Greek yogurt. A fat pinch of vanilla extract. I really like to use fake imitation vanilla extract instead of real vanilla extract, which has alcohol in it, because the alcohol tends to bake out and the flavor isn't as pronounced. When you use imitation, the flavor stays better when baking. All you people that always give me hate in the comments for not using the entire egg, this recipe will satisfy you guys. I'm gonna use the entire egg. I'm not gonna split the egg white from the egg yolk and take the egg yolk and toss it down my sink. First of all, you guys are mean. You guys don't think about my garbage disposal. He's hungry and he likes egg yolks, and so I feed the egg yolks to the garbage disposal and I use the egg white in the recipe, so I'm not really wasting if you think about it. Yeah, that's all I have to say. I'm gonna use the entire egg though. There's a lot of fat in the egg yolk, which is why I only use the egg white, because it's all protein, but I need to satisfy you guys. I'm an expert at cracking eggs now. You just poke your thumb in it. Mix all of this up really well. If there's eggshells in here, that's okay, because I can't see them anymore, and it's just gonna be more protein. I forgot an ingredient. That was a big sip. Quality assurance done. It tastes good. Sugar-free maple syrup. I was trying to savor it. 10 grams. The maple syrup flavor is so good. You don't always need to use your hands to beat. Preheat your oven 325 degrees Fahrenheit, because when we mix the batter, the yogurt and the baking soda is going to create bubbles. We want to bake it as fast as possible, so we want the preheated oven. I'm going to use a silicone mold because these things are the best. I'll leave a link in the description. You can just pop muffins out and nothing sticks. You don't even need oil or anything like that, or liners. Jumbo muffin silicone mold. They're great. There's a kid watching me in my backyard right now. Where are his parents? Maybe he likes the mustache. Maybe he thinks I'm his dad because I have a mustache. I'm in my dad phase right now. Add the wet. Oh, my oven's ready. Okay, there we go. Add the wet to the dry. I was trying to time this so that this would be ready by the time my oven's preheated. But you know, my oven already started singing. Ah, it's got on my shirt. Mix this up. Don't overmix because there's flour in this and we don't want to form gluten structures like in pizza and bagels. We want to keep this super light and fluffy and airy. So the less you mix, the better. You just want to mix until everything's combined. And if there's a little clump or two, that's okay. And if there's a couple clumps in there of flour, that's okay. It's going to bake out. Just fold on top of each other like that. Over mixing something like this is one of the worst things you could do. If you mix super, super vigorously, it's just going to create a dense, super dry baked good. And that's not what you want in a muffin. It's what you want in a pizza though. And there we go. We're done. Let's fill up this tray. I'm going to spray it with some oil just cuz. And then scoop in the batter. You see how there's a little bit of clumping of flour in there? That's completely fine. Oh, I forgot chocolate chips. 20 grams of mini chocolate chips. You get more if you use mini. It's just better. Mix this in. And we're back. Fill all these up. I'm going to just pour in a couple mini chocolate chips in the ones that I filled without any. That's okay. No big deal. 2 spoons. I'm going to sprinkle on a little chocolate chips right on top just for extra. There can always be more chocolate. And then a little sliced banana right in the middle top of each one. And these are ready to be baked. 325 degrees Fahrenheit for 25 to 35 minutes. After 30 minutes, it is done. Take it out of the oven and let it cool for another 30 minutes until room temperature. And the muffins are done. They've cooled and look how easily they pop out. This one's a little disformed, but there we go. It is perfect. I'm gonna toss it on a plate. These silicone things are the best. Everything just slides out so perfectly. And look, it's golden brown on the bottom. It is so, you could just tell. It's the M word. Look at that, golden brown on the bottom and nice and soft. It is so fluffy and I could just feel it and I know it's not dry at all. Check out my cookbook, link in the description. It has over 100 recipes and I'm constantly updating it, so when you buy it once, you get all future updates for free. Each muffin, 97 calories and 9 grams of protein. That means you could eat 2 of these and it's equivalent to eating a 200 calorie, 20 gram protein bar. And they're so fluffy. Look at how fluffy that is on the inside and it is so soft. Cheers. It's so good. It's so soft on the inside. I'm not gonna say the M word again. I've said it too many times. It's so damp. That's worse to describe food, but you guys hate the M word. You gotta make these. And let me know what kind of muffins you wanna see me make next. This hits. It's so soft. Melt in my mouth.